Folks, welcome to 4th and 30. We have a great show for you today. We got a lot of good topics on our show. Some of them include NFL coaches in the hot seat, NHL, Winter Classic, NBA, and much more. Join me with Chip and Barry as we debate today's topics going on in sports. 4th and 30, starting right now.
Welcome to 4th and 30. We have a lot of ridiculous topics today. NASCAR, come on. Do I think the Winter Classic is going to take off? Absolutely not. And the Patriots are not the best dynasty. And that will be debated on 4th and 30.
Folks, welcome to 4th and 30. I'm joined here by Chip and Barry. And guys, for first down, our first topic, the NFL. As you know, the season is down to its final week after today ending week 16. We also got our main topic is NFL coaches on the hot seat going into next season. So, who are your take? There's a lot of coaches in the hot seat. We got Kubiak in Houston, Marvin Lewis, a lot more guys. So, Barry, Chip, thoughts?
My thoughts, the biggest one on the hot seat, I must say, would be Gary Kubiak. He is going to be on the unemployment line at the end of the week. Thank God, because they have Andre Johnson, who's a stud. Matt Schaub, who's a stud, and they can't work with them. Gary Kubiak's got it. He has got to go big picture.
They just lost to Denver today too. I mean, Houston, they're just losing big time.
I already know that, Max. That's why I said he's on the hot seat.
There's Jeff Fisher. I mean, John Fox, Carolina's been bad. Marvin Lewis, although the Bengals did win 2 in a row, and
John Fox is out of a job too.
Tony Sparano, who's Miami Dolphins, lost to Buffalo last week and Detroit this week. So, thoughts, Barry? I mean,
John Fox is going to be hunting for other jobs. I'm glad you like that one, Max.
Chef, you never seem to amaze me enough, huh?
Now maybe the guy with the incredibly ridiculous hat will show me up here.
All right, now Barry, if you had to pick one coach out of the names we just mentioned, who is definitely gone, or is there going to be a couple of them?
It's a name you didn't mention, and that would be Tom Coughlin. He has the talent to get to the playoffs.
Tom Coughlin?
Chip?
What, Chip? Something on your mind, Chip?
Yes! Tom Coughlin is one of the toughest coaches there is. I like him because he's mean. He's motivating.
But look at the talent he has, and they give up, what, a 31-point lead?
That's just because they're undisciplined. Yes, that might have something to do with coaching, but Tom Coughlin has that team. The team just chokes. The coach can only do so much, and I feel bad for Tom Coughlin because his team is doing the Coughlin.
I mean, the Giants are still in playoff contention. They're still most likely going to clinch a playoff spot. Yes, they did choke last week, and today they got handed to them by Green Bay. But I mean, I don't know.
They should already be in the playoffs. They should already have clinched the spot. Eli Manning, Brandon Jacobs. Yes, they're still in it.
The only thing the Panthers scratch at are trying to scratch at victories, and they just seem to scratch their own skin and scratch out of playoff contention.
Oh, Chip, you're quite with the jokes today, huh?
It's not a joke.
Who's a writer for you?
Well, it certainly isn't the camera guy who put that ridiculous snowman in our shots last show.
Okay,
a seizure, man.
A surprise coach. I mean, there's also Tony Sparano in Miami. I mean, losing to Buffalo and Detroit. I mean, they're pretty much falling face down. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on them are.
My thoughts of Tony Sparano, yes, maybe. He came out of nowhere. I don't know.
Give him another chance.
I'm actually on the same boat as Mr. Barnaby over here. Barry Barnaby. I don't know. He kind of came out of nowhere as well. But yes, Tony Sparano, I would actually give him another chance. Yes, he lost to, not Fitzmagic, I call him Fitzillusion. Because that's what he gave a lot of Buffalo fans and disappointed them earlier today.
And what about another name that's getting tossed around too? I know he's brought this franchise around from being a disaster, which a laughingstock in the league in the late 90s, early 90s, after the Super Bowl is Marvin Lewis. I mean, they did win last week, and today they beat San Diego, who is a hot team, usually good in December, in the playoffs, involved in that playoff race in Cincinnati.
Marvin Lewis loses often is about to be definitely canned. That whole franchise is just in turmoil. Carson Palmer.
He did throw 4 touchdowns today, though, Chip.
Wow. I am amazed that he probably threw 4 touchdowns all year. And he's got Chad Ocho Stinko, team obliterator,
who's out for
and Cedric Benchton at running back. No talent. He lost his team. Marvin Lewis is going to join Jeff Fisher fishing for other coaching jobs because I wouldn't give him one right now.
All right, Barry? Barry? Go ahead, Marvin Lewis.
Well, I mean, Lewis didn't have the Bengals up in the prime of the league the past few years, but there's just no chemistry in that team. I mean, does it fall to coaching? Does it fall to the players? Maybe it's a bunch of it. But yes, they beat San Diego, but San Diego is a choke artist of a team. In my opinion, they choke at the worst of times.
They do choke in the playoffs, but somehow they usually struggle in the beginning, then somehow pick it up, and then once the playoffs come.
Well, they're just getting informed right now.
Yeah.
They choke, so.
And then let's talk about today, and that's it for the coaching. I mean, there's a lot of changes that will probably happen in the offseason. But let's talk about today's games, the NFL wrap-up. I mean, what about the Jacksonville Jaguars? They were just in it a couple weeks ago. They were about to win against the Colts in their division, who the Colts always, since the Peyton Manning era, have ran away with the division. And Jacksonville somehow seems to be blowing their lead away in the playoffs, and pretty much it's going to be out. So
I still give credit to Jacksonville because nobody, not even their fans, thought they would get this close. I mean, half their fans don't even show up to the game.
which most of the games have been blacked out all season.
They have a fan base in Jacksonville.
And another team too, everyone's favorite starting the season off is the New York Jets. I mean, they won. I mean, they lost today against the Bears, who is a formidable foe, but somehow clinched a playoff spot with San Diego losing and Jacksonville losing too. So, but I mean, the Jets, what's going to go on with them with the playoffs? I mean,
They are gonna flop. They are gonna.
I
get
hope they
destroyed.
trip out of the playoffs too.
Well, I wouldn't say hope, but yeah, Fat Rex. I know. I've always kind of been a big fan of his, so to speak, but he has lost control of that team. Sanchez is just Sanchez. He's just a typical USC
very overrated.
bust. Very overrated. Braylon Edwards, Santonio Holmes. Santonio should go home. All he does is drop balls.
But what about Tomlinson? You can't say he's had a bad year.
Tomlinson, I've never really liked. Thought
He's-
he was a little overrated.
He started off good, and just how since week 4 or something, he's just fell
But then,
flat. I mean,
he
I
just
think,
went downhill. Just like Rob Parker's career, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
folks, and another topic too: surprise NFL teams this year. Just to name a few, I'm going to name a few teams here, and you tell me who's the biggest surprise, and then we'll go to disappointments after. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Kansas City, Oakland, Chicago, and St. Louis. Now, Barry, Chip, surprise team out of that list.
I am very disappointed with your list, Max.
Now, why is that, Chip?
I don't like Atlanta one bit. I don't like Tampa Bay one bit.
How can you
I
not
don't like.
Atlanta?
Let me finish. I don't like St. Louis one
We're
bit.
talking about
Sam
surprises.
Badford is what I call him.
Well, then, Chip, who is your surprise team then? If you don't like any of these
The
choices,
NFC, in my mind, is just a joke. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to actually say Kansas City. I'm going to say they are the biggest surprise. Atlanta, I'm not sold on them. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bad is what I call them. And let's see here, who else we got? The St. Louis Rams.
they may make the playoffs, but
They're
that's
not going to go with that. But that division's a joke, man.
I'm going to say my team. I know we're running short of
I
time.
don't want to hear this.
I'm going to say Tampa Bay just because
Oh,
they won a few games
man.
last year,
Come
so I'll turn
on.
around. Kansas
Don't
City's up
forget
there.
about Philadelphia.
Oh,
I mean, they started with Kevin Cobb,
a
You know how that went.
surprise?
but then Michael Vick out of
Oh,
nowhere.
no.
All right, NFL now we're on the disappointments. Arizona, Dallas, Minnesota, Houston, San Diego. I mean, I'm going to say Minnesota. Just with Favre coming back, they seem to just crashed and burned all season long.
I mean, I may have to pull a page out of Chip's book. I think Dallas is just the best story in the NFL this year. I think they deserve every one bit of what they got this year. Just in my opinion.
Arizona has no quarterback, but my hands down, I think it's got to be Minnesota.
How was Arizona a disappointment? I expected them to do bad. Where do you get your list from, Max? I would really like to know. But yes, the biggest disappointment is the Dallas Cowboys. With Pillsbury Dough coach gone, Wade Phillips. And you know what? I don't normally support this, but I like what Jason Garrett did. He found an opportunity. Wade couldn't find it. He took over his job, got the coaching job, and, well, he lost again, but that's all right. Yes, biggest disappointment would be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot going on, but folks, we're going to have to probably take a commercial break shortly, and then coming up, we got more topics. We'll talk about hockey, Chip's favorite sport, coming up after the break.
That's silly.
So we're going to probably,
That's worse than Christmas.
well, I mean, yeah, this NFL, once the playoffs starting right now, there's going to be a lot more stories to come, so it's going to come down to the end here with 1 week left. So, but folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be coming back with second down, so don't go away. We'll be right back on 4th and 30.
This again. Shelves are all out of place. games on the floor. Hi, I'm Rich. Work at the Walden Flea Market. I'm not gonna wait on anybody today. I gotta clean up my games.
That's a nice treat.
It's okay.
Excuse me, I have something to trade in. I'd like to know how much I can get for these 3 PS3 games.
Cracked.
Well, I mean, the games are in good shape.
There's nothing here.
Okay. Do you at least have Shadowgate for NES?
No. I have NES games, Super Nintendo games, but not Shadowgate.
Rich, how's your skydiving stream?
That game is awful. Tell them $30.
Yeah, about Shadowgate, do you have that?
No.
Wait a minute. There it is. It's right there. What is that?
Shadowgate? It's
So how much for that?
$30.
$30? That's outrageous. That's ridiculous.
It's a rare game. Fine. $29.99.
That's not a deal. You don't have deals here.
$28.95.
No, that's still a ridiculous price.
Well, it's can't please everybody. No deal. It happens.
Well, why can't you give me a good deal? Like,
I am.
I'll take $5 for this.
Shadowgate's a rare game. You'll take how
It's
much?
not that rare. $5.
But I have to pay for the fence.
What?
My wife left. My daughter had a D-section. And some other stuff came up. This guy with porn places. And I'm not rich anymore. And, well, I have Super Nintendo, NES, and Sega Genesis games. And, well, Koreans are coming. I better hide. They gave me a really hard time. I don't want to knock this over again.